Hello, everybody, and welcome to our town hall. We are just going to get things started now. We are going to start with some introductions of our board members. We do have a poll going on there, so please feel free to answer the poll questions as as the presentation's going on. Also, feel free to type in any questions you have into the comment section of here of the presentation. And with that, I guess we'll get started. So first of all, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Vicki Bayford. I am the CFO and Communications Director for the Independence Party. Been with the group for I think since April, and I became a director in September, I believe. I joined this movement because of all the craziness going on in the world. Prior to this, I've never really been involved in politics other than voting. I mean, I've always, enjoyed my right to vote, and I've always enjoyed the freedoms of being a Canadian, but it seems as though we keep losing those, so I felt the way that I could help this was to take some personal action and get involved and get this movement moving. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the board members that are here. So first of all, I want to introduce you to Monica Fries. She is our membership director. So welcome, Monica.
Hello, everybody. My name is Monica Fries. I'm the membership director, as Vicki stated. I've been a separatist since probably the Chrétien government, which was way back in the early 2000s. I got interested in this party back in February of 2019, just before the election, and I decided to run as a candidate. And I ran in the riding of Mountain View, Calgary, and I've been involved in the party ever since. I've been the membership director, I've been the fundraising director, and that's where I currently sit, as in the fundraising or the membership director portfolio. Thank you, Vicki.
Thanks, Monica. So next, I'd like to introduce you to Dave Campbell. Go ahead, Dave.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming here tonight. I'm, as Vicki said, Dave Campbell. I'm the current president of the board of directors. I've been involved in the separatist movement for an awful long time. I actually have tried to work through the channels through the big parties to actually achieve some kind of a form of a fair deal. I've realized that could not happen. So I got on board with the Independence Party prior to the last election. And I've been on the board of directors since day one. And I was elected president in December of last year. So my whole goal is actually to get us out of Confederation and to form the independent nation of Alberta.
Thanks, Dave. So next, I would like to introduce Eli Weisberg. Go ahead, Eli.
Hello, my name is Eli Weisberg. I'm the policy director for the Independence Party. I've had about 6 years in politics now, starting in the Wild Rose Party after the tragic merger that occurred against our better judgment, but out of desperation to defeat the NDP. Myself, Marilyn Burns, and a bunch of others helped to found the Alberta Advantage Party, and I served as the secretary and the VP policy on their board before, breaking ranks with them and becoming a full-fledged separatist. For a long time, I knew that Alberta would be able to transcend Confederation and make quite a name for it on its own. And I'm here because I'm sick of Ottawa putting words in our mouth.
Thank you, Eli. Next, I would like to invite Val Gertson to say a few words.
Hi, my name is Val Gertson. I was born and raised in Alberta. And I used to be a proud Canadian, but now I'm just a proud Albertan. I didn't get directly involved in politics till a few years ago when the Wildrose merger happened. I learned more about our political system, and I'm convinced that within our current system, there is no way for Alberta to get a fair deal, and the only alternative is separation. So I looked at all the separatist parties, and this one has good people working on it. They're very knowledgeable. Everyone's contributing in their areas of expertise, and we're getting things done. We're moving forward, and I'm really happy with the direction we're going.
Thanks, Val. So next I will introduce Roger Walker. Go ahead, Roger.
Hello, and thank you, Vicki. My name's Roger Walker. I'm a fourth generation Albertan, and I've been a separatist since 1971. Pierre Elliott Trudeau brought me to that. I've also been involved in politics since the early 2000s with various movements and groups that have tried to move this forward. And with any luck, this will be the one that gets us to our final goal of Alberta independence and Alberta achieving its true status on the world stage, because we are a world leader in many, many ways, from oil production to engineering to Alberta is just a powerhouse that's being held back by the system, the United Nations, and the world order that wants to dominate. We need to separate. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Roger. And last but definitely not least, is Linda there? Well, I see Roger. Is Linda there?
I don't think Linda's there, Vicki.
Okay, no problem. Well, we will just carry on and maybe introduce her a little later. So for now, actually, so I just wanted to have a chat with you, Dave, because, one, you're our president and, kind of the guy that's kind of helping us, stay organized and lead the charge towards separation. So basically, I just wanted to kind of go through, a lot of questions that people ask, even me a lot of the times, and just get some answers from you. After this, I guess, once we go through our little conversation, we'll open this up for the public to ask any questions that they might have as well. So again, please feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, and we will definitely try and answer them for you the best we can. So Dave, so a lot of times, when I'm getting questions on the street about separation and things, we get a lot of challenging questions like, what if we're going to be landlocked? How do we overcome this?
Well, and to everybody out there too, Alberta is landlocked. We always will be landlocked, but we have many, many options available to us. We have many options that are available to us right now. We've got a pipeline to the west coast that's being expanded as we speak. There's no reason to believe that they're going to, the federal government, after we secede, is going to shut down our access to the coast through that pipeline. We supply all of the, or mostly, most of the gas products that the people of British Columbia, the Lower Mainland, use, and we supply all of the jet fuel that they use. So it wouldn't be a good thing for them to actually shutter that pipeline. So we still will have access there. We also have access through, we will have access through the Northwest Territories and up to Alaska, through the Alberta to Alaska railroad that's proposed here by the United States. And when we secede too, we're going to find that the rest of the western provinces are going to look and see how profitable that this has been. And once they secede too, that'll give us even more access to, it'll give us access to Churchill, Manitoba, when Manitoba and Saskatchewan actually get on board, and those types of things. So I don't think that we need to worry too bad. And we also too, just one more thing, I guess, that we'll forge forward and have international, we'll have a better relationship with our neighbors to the south than we've had in many, many years here. And certainly under our current Liberal government, we'll have a lot better relationship with the United States than we've had. And we can get access because we ship oil we have access to the southern coast, and we may get access to the western coast too. So I think it's a non-issue. We'll have plenty of access to coastline and to be able to get our products out of Alberta when we secede.
Thanks, Dave. So, also another thing that we get asked a lot is currency. So, what are we going to use for currency when we secede?
Well, we're working on programs here. We've got our policy director with us here tonight, but we have many, many options when it comes to currency. We can adopt currencies from different countries throughout this world. We need a very strong dollar, so that would basically cancel out any chance that we might use the Canadian currency because it's just not strong internationally. So, we could use the American currency or any other currency we want. We could have a two-tiered currency system too to deal with things too. We could develop our own system here in Alberta. And we could also base that too on commodities and things like that through gold, silver, copper, those types of things. So there's an endless array of options open to us.
Okay, so let's talk about our kind of 4-year plan. So when we win the election, how are we going to secede? How is this going to work?
Well, and again, we're working on that right now, but our basic plan at this point in time is to actually take it to the people of Alberta. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. The completely legal way, I guess, is take it to the people of Alberta with an actual firm question, a clear, concise question, and move forward with it that way. And actually go through the proper channels through the Canadian government and have it okayed by the House of Commons, that question, to make sure that it is clear and concise, and then move forward and make sure that it's open to the people of Alberta to debate on both sides of the coin, and then actually hold the referendum. But we do guarantee that there will be a referendum in our time, and if that referendum is successful, that we will begin the process right away, and we'll have, hopefully, unless Canada tries to hold us back, we'll have that process done within our 4-year mandate.
So another thing that I get a lot of poking about actually is we don't actually have a constitution. We do have a mission statement on our website, but why is it that we have chosen at this time to not create a constitution?
Well, we've decided not to. There's a few things that people have to remember here too. When it comes to laws in Alberta and forming a society, which we are a society, we have to have bylaws. So we have got bylaws in place. We ratified our bylaws. They passed by 87% of our membership. That was in September of last year that we did that, and that's what we've gone with. We also have brought forward a mission statement that originally was actually called a constitution, but technically when you look at it, it isn't a constitution, but this does actually point exactly what we're going to do and what we're about, kind of thing. And again, separation is the very number one thing that we've got in there. And the other thing is too, we could have a constitution as a party, but we want the people of Alberta to be involved in forming a constitution for our new country. So we don't think that we don't need to take a constitution that we put together as a party and ram it down anybody's throat. We want the people of Alberta to be involved in developing their own constitution when the time comes.
Awesome. And that's what I actually I'm going to make a comment on that is one thing that I really enjoyed about our group and about this party is that we really want Albertans involved. We want all Albertans involved in all the decisions. Actually, that'll just lead me to my next thing, and maybe I will get Eli to speak to this because he is our policy director. But when we are creating programs and policies, Eli, would you mind explaining to the people about how we go about um, creating our policies and party program, and how we try and involve our members in those policy and party program creation?
Sure, Vicky. So we have a party program committee, which any member of the party may join. In fact, any member of the public who has an idea for policy can put that forward. And on that committee, the ideas get debated, they get thrown around. All the members of the party, they're allowed to have a voice on it the way it's currently set up. And we try our very best to take the ideas that the people of Alberta present to us and make something doable out of them. So we take the grandiose visions that all Albertans have, and Albertans are very, very bright. They come up with exceptional ideas. Our agriculture policy, for instance, is completely ridden by farmers. And then, we take those ideas, we wordsmith them into very succinct policies that are completely reflective of the spirit that the person initially intended them to be. And then we debate and we vote on them as a committee. So all members of the party get a chance to vote on them who wish to. So we do it through an iterative process to make sure that everybody has a chance to speak to them. And we also use expert advice in crafting them, because if we make a promise to Albertans, it has to be a promise we can keep. We're not going to, throw out a phony promise no matter how good it sounds. If something doesn't work, then that we'd be lying to Albertans, and we want to be a little bit different than other politicians.
Thanks, Eli. Another thing we got questioned about a couple times too is the way our membership works. So we are the only party that have two basically membership types. Can you explain the difference between our regular membership and becoming an officer of the party? Um, what's the purpose of having those two different membership types, and what are the different advantages of holding either type of membership?
So the reason why we have two different membership types now, remember, according to Elections Alberta, a member is a member is a member. So we technically have one membership type, and then we have what's called the officer status on top of it. So people who want to take, an active leadership role within the party, there's a certain level of expectation that goes along with it. We don't want to be a coffee club. We don't want to sit around just talking about independence. We have to get results. So by having two levels of membership, we can have, the people who want to be along with the ride, who want to, financially support independence, who want to vote on things at the AGM, and, have a very traditional level of member party interaction. And then we have the people who want to take on, active leadership roles within the party, who want to, have some responsibilities on our different governance committees and stuff like that, or want to sit on a CA board. And that comes with some confidentiality agreements. The people also have to sign, an agreement saying that, they're 100% separatists. They completely believe in separation, and that they agree with the values of the party. And so they have different levels of responsibilities. But, if you bought a standard membership, it doesn't mean you're any lesser than an officer. It just means that you want to have a different relationship with the party, if that makes sense.
No, that absolutely makes sense. And thank you for clarifying that for us. So I think I'm going to turn this back to Dave. So, Dave, what kind of government system are we thinking about right now? So when we get into power, and um, or I don't know, maybe even Eli might be the better person to answer this. Whoever feels more comfortable. What kind of government system are we thinking or planning on going on?
So currently, our party program, the way we're laying out our governance sector, starts with the five principles of governance, which is meritocracy, the idea that, you know, the people in charge should essentially earn their place at the table there. We do not want, you know, the same sort of charlatans and beauty pageant queens that we have running in our government and lying to us to be able to have, you know, this dictatorial authority over the people where, you know, if you essentially control the information, you win the seat. It has to be based on merit. It has to be based on skills and, you know, the competency and experience that people have. So that's our first principle of governance. Our second principle of governance is technocracy, which is the idea that, you know, if you want to serve in a certain capacity in our government, you should be an expert in that field. And this doesn't just mean, you know, you have a university degree or something like that. There are very, you know, silly people in the university system as well. It's through, you know, your life experience. It's through, you know, your accumulation of knowledge and really your skill and aptitude. And we'll use objective metrics and scoring to, you know, ensure that people meet those qualifications. There's three other principles of governance. They have to be, you know, socially responsible, and I don't mean that in, you know, the current leftist sense. I mean that they have to be entrusted with building up Albertans and making each other stronger. They also have to agree to our fourth principle of governance, which is individual responsibility. We believe that the strongest nations and the strongest governments put the individual in the driver's seat, and that, you know, without strong individuals, we won't be able to have a strong nation.
Thanks,
And then, yeah.
No, that's awesome. And I like again. So, looks like we actually have a couple questions out there. So Rory, I'm just gonna scroll up to the top. Actually, so sorry, there's one first. And maybe I will answer this question. So the first question is from Rosemary, and she's asking, how do I volunteer? Go to our website and sign up. So it's www.abindependence.com, and there is a place there where you can sign up. And I believe there's a place in there you can even type, like, you know, be a little bit more specific. But if you wanted to send us an email too, you can send it to comms, at ab-independence.com as well. Send in an email and just let me know what you're interested. I'll be the one answering that email. So yeah, just let me know what you're interested in helping out with, and I will gladly put you to work. So appreciate the question. So the next question, I believe, is Rory now. Sorry, let me just get back here. So the next question is, what's your plans in the first month in office if elected? I don't know, Dave, do you want to answer that? I think we kind of did, but
Sure, I can answer that. Well, certainly within our first month in office, you know, there's not a lot that can be done, but we're going to be pressing forward again, and it really depends too. If the people of Alberta entrust us with a majority government, we will be moving straight away into our plan of secession and pushing forward with that. We will be making sure that that we put the people, as Eli has stated here. We're going to have a whole different kind of system of government. We'll have to work within the confines right now, but we will have people that are competent in their positions. It will not be an old boys club. It will not be self-serving. We will not do that. We will not be appointing people to positions. They will actually be gone through a full process to make sure that they're competent to do what they're supposed to do, and then we will move on and keep moving forward with our plan as secession, as I laid out a little bit earlier.
so Dave, Rory actually had an interesting comment in here as well, and I actually, you know, have thought about this a lot too. So when we do try to secede, we know that the federal government is going to put every block in our way to make it almost impossible for us to secede. So, I mean, I guess what is it that we can do to ensure that secession happens?
Well, there actually is, there is a legal system to go through here. If we present a clear and concise question to the people of Alberta, the Supreme Court has ruled in Canada, the Clarity Act, it goes along with it too. If there's a clear and concise question asked that it is actually supported, that the House of Commons actually says, yes, this is clear and concise. If we allow a proper period for back and forth discussion on the topic, and then we actually present that to the people of Alberta. If the people of Alberta come forward and in a majority, a clear majority, it has to go back to the Canadian government and the House of Commons, and they have an obligation. It's through it is written and it's gone through the Supreme Court. They have to negotiate. The negotiation is not going to be about whether we are going to secede. The negotiation will be about the process used because they haven't gone through. But there is an actual standard to do this, and we plan on using that standard. And if the Canadian government decides that they're going to start waylaying this and trying to put this off, we're not going to stand for that type of stuff. Many countries in this world don't have a standard, Spain being one of them. With the Catalonians. There isn't a legal process to do it. Canada has a legal process to do this, and we fully expect the federal government to comply with their own laws. That's what we expect. And if there's a clear majority of people, the international community is not going to take kindly to Canada as a country breaking their laws. Like Canada's supposed to be a beacon of laws and people abiding by laws. And I don't think the federal community or the international community is going to take kindly if Canada doesn't abide by their own written laws. So we're going to use their laws. Will we use it against them? In every case that we can, we will. And we'll get to where we need to be. For sure we will.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. And I know that there's a lot of our party program and policies that aren't quite done yet, but Rory has another question about gun laws. With crime rates, especially in the rural Alberta, going up, are we going to consider trying to get like Texas-style conceal and carry kind of laws, or where is our stance right now with gun laws?
I think maybe I'll let Eli answer that one. He's been working on that area, and he's our policy director.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so the way we currently look at gun laws and are looking at them as a party is that nobody really needs to be afraid of a mentally healthy Albertan with a firearm. Tragedies happen in the opinion of the party as a result of mental health issues and as a result of, the poor social conditions that socialist policies have cultivated in Alberta over, the last 20, 30 years. Way back when, there really wasn't a lot of issues with that. I believe that, ranchers, farmers, everyone like that absolutely should have the right to stand their ground and protect their family, to protect themselves. You cannot reasonably ask a human being to, stand down and take a bullet to the chest without being able to have some way to fight back. So our firearms policy approaches things from a very different angle. We're going to be taking a lot of the restricted firearms and moving them to the non-restricted list because, currently the lists have become so political that we don't believe that they're serving the people of Alberta very well. They're making criminals out of law-abiding citizens, and we will not stand for that.
Thanks, Eli. Let me just see if there's any more questions. So I have a comment from Dennis Levesque. I will not fund any political party that has not started petition for a referendum on equalization and separation. So, I don't know, do you guys want to comment on that?
Well, I I think the equalization question is already. I think it's a done deal. I don't think there's any need to have Jason Kenney is going to do the equalization one here in the fall of 2021. So that'll be done already. We're a completely separatist party, so we don't need to worry about equalization. We want to secede, and we're going to move forward, and we will hold a referendum on secession, which will actually answer both of those questions.
So, Dave, when we do take government, will we immediately stop sending money to the federal government, or like what's our stance on that?
Well, the whole thing about this, and I hear other parties talking about this, it is completely illegal to stop sending money. And if we tell the people of Alberta, the average everyday working person can't stop. It's the company that collects taxes, and they go straight to the federal government. If we actually tell businesses to actually stop or withhold their payments to the federal government is within their rights, and they'll do it in a second. They will seize bank accounts, and you will not have access to your money. So I don't think that we can do that. We can move forward as quickly as we possibly can into secession and work on it that way. I don't think the other way would work. I know that people have talked about it, and there's another party out there saying exactly, well, we'll just withhold money. Well, the money doesn't come to the Alberta government to start with, so I don't know how they're going to do this. And again, the businesses in Alberta, they'll just get shut down. You start not paying taxes, and people trying not to pay their income tax at the end of the year. They're going to just seize bank accounts is what they're going to do. And it'll be a world of hurt rather than going through the right channels.
Thanks, Dave. So, Tracy Robertson asks, is this party the old Alberta Independence Party of Dave Bjorkman?
The answer to that question is yes, it is. Dave actually started this party. Actually, the party was officially formed 3 days into election 2019. The party ran 63 candidates at that point in time. And since then, Mr. Bjorkman has actually stepped down, and he's no longer with the party at all. We've got an elected board of directors, democratically elected board of directors. As I said earlier, we've actually got a ratified set of bylaws there. 87% of people voted for them. And we've been moving on now. We're building constituency associations. We've got a lot of good feedback on those types of things, and we're working with people and building CAs all the time. We're trying to fundraise as much as we possibly can to be able to hold a strong campaign going into the next election and or any by-elections. And that's where we're at here right now. We've got an AGM coming up in the spring of 2021 for any of those folks that want to participate and get involved.
Thanks, Dave. I'm going to answer this next question. So, Mike Nelson is asking, sorry, I just got to flip back and forth here, doing all the tech work. So Mike Nelson says he's interested in being an official in the party and has some time and ideas and what does the higher membership cost. So to become an officer of the party, so you still have to buy your membership. So the membership itself is $10 for a 1-year membership or $20 for a 3-year membership. Once you buy your membership, you can go back in and sign up as an officer. So you can do a one-time tax receivable donation of $120, or you can do that for $10 a month. You will then get some forms sent to you with the confidentiality agreement, and there's another little bit of a process to go through, just to check you out and make sure that we're all driving and we can get you set off in the right direction, so that you can help us out for our common goal. So the next question, hopefully that answers your question, Mike. If not, just let me know. Tracy Robertson says, will you support recall legislation for non-performance or corruption, and will you have a serious control on lobbying and special interest groups?
Can I take this one, Vicky?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
So one of the things in our current governance policy, and remember our party program's still under development, so if you disagree, you still have a chance to change it by getting involved. We're actually going to have a system of automatic recall. So there will be, systems of performance-based metrics that all public officials are going to be, held to, kind of like a performance review at work. We believe it's unfair that, members of the government don't have to go through performance reviews and don't have to, be held to performance standards. We'll have a department that takes care of that automatically. And if people aren't doing their job, if they're not objectively increasing the metric values that they've been charged with, they'll be automatically out of their office. So that's our current system we're looking at.
Okay, next question from Tracy Robertson. How will you control the referendum and then the vote on separating? One person on one, I think it means one person, one vote with ID in person. So I think what she's asking is this going to be in-person voting?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to work with the current elections Alberta apparatus to ensure that it's done fairly. We will probably form a special task force to ensure the integrity of the vote. I know a lot of people are quite afraid of the federal government giving us the Quebec treatment and pumping money into Alberta through, third-party PACs illegally in order to try and sway the vote of the election. They're also afraid of, foreign lobbyists and special interest groups, funding a no vote and essentially stealing the voice out of Albertans' mouths. We're going to have a special task force to investigate that. We will probably proceed with in-person voting, though this is all for, the experts to decide. We're going to be very careful with the integrity of the vote. We do not want, interference skewing the results of the vote here.
Okay, and Tracy has another question. Would you use a Ways and Means style committee to control salaries and budgets for government members?
So salaries and budgets of government members are going to be contingent upon performance, but there will be a set salary. If government members do not perform, again, they'll be discharged and they will not receive their salary because there's no reward for ripping off and pulling the wool over the eyes of Albertans. There may even be criminal charges if there's corrupt behavior going on. The control of government salaries for the different levels, be it the bureaucracy and the members in the legislature, is something that is going to be voted on and definitely controlled by one of the administrative departments. But it's something that is going to ensure that there's parity between the government and the public sector and the private sector. We don't want our politicians being on easy street. We want them to be producing as much value as their compatriots in the private sector.
Great. Okay, and so Mike, I'm just going to get back to you really quick here. So you have a 3-year membership. So literally all you have to do is go online to the website, go under membership, and then there is an officer sign up there. So you just have to go in there, sign up under there for the membership, and then Monica Fries will get back to you with all the paperwork that you're going to need to. Well, it's not that much, but the little bit of paperwork you're going to have to do, Monica will get that out to you right away as soon as you sign up. Thomas H. Ziefel, hopefully I said that right. I apologize if I didn't. I have been railing about getting shut off the GTA for 5 years. Do you have an active plan for secession? I expect someone needs to bring together all the splinter independence groups. How will you go about doing that?
Well, we're the only independence party in Alberta. We're the only true separatist party in Alberta. We are working diligently and we're trying to attract as many separatists as we possibly can get. Again, we believe that we need autonomy. We're going to take all the autonomy aspects to it, as far as immigration, as far as having our own pension plan, our own police force, and all the rest of those things. But we believe in secession. We don't believe in a halfway measure. We think it's disingenuous to come to the people of Alberta and tell them that you're separatists when you're not. That's where we're at. We're a completely separatist party. We're not going to change. We'll always make sure that Albertans have a 100% separatist party option at the ballot box. So we welcome all of those people that are separatists to come within our ranks. And that's what we hope to actually attract. And that's why we're doing these town halls and getting out to see people and things like that when we're actually allowed to do that. That's where we're going to keep forging forward. We have good conversations and we've got a good working relationship with other parties and other political activists throughout the province. And we work with them on a regular basis. So hopefully we can have these people join us in our quest to actually secede from Alberta. Again, we are the only separatist party in this province at this point in time.
Thanks, Dave. So I think from what I can see, that looks like all the questions so far. If anyone else has any more questions, I'll leave it open for a couple more minutes. Oh, here we go. Tracy, will there be term limits for the government elected officials, and what pensions do you project for full-term service?
Sorry, Vicky, I didn't hear that question, and it might be one for you.
Sorry. Will there be term limits for government elected officials, and what pensions do you project for full-term service?
Yeah, go ahead, Eli.
So the way we're doing it is that we really do not believe that people who are doing their jobs well and are beloved by the Albertan public and their constituents and continue to be reelected should be cut off from that. Ernest Manning, for instance, he was Premier of Alberta for about 27 years, and he was the best dang Premier that we ever had, and people can fight me on that. He did a heck of a lot for our province. You know, he built up our oil sands industry. He built up our oil industry too. Really, most of the infrastructure we have right now, we have Ernest Manning to thank. He did a heck of a job. You know, if Albertans want to keep electing someone for years and years and years, you know, why should we steal away their democratic right to do so? At the same time, you know, pensions right now for government officials are way too generous. People in the private sector really don't have that luxury. We'd like to do away with a lot of the pocket padding. You know, I personally would be more in favor with having, you know, private investment plans for them. You know, people should be smart enough to save for their own retirement if they're in government. You know, if they're smart enough to lead us, they should be smart enough to invest their money wisely. If they're not, then they shouldn't be leading us. But that's just my opinion. In the party's opinion, you know, we have to maintain that parity between the private sector and the public sector so that you know, we're being fair to the workers of Alberta who are paying for those pensions. So, yeah, we want everyone to be treated fairly. You know, the governors and the people who are going through, you know, the effort of governing us and making good choices and performing well, they should be, you know, rewarded for their good and diligent service as servants of the people of Alberta. But at the same time, they shouldn't be rewarded any more than, you know, workers who are breaking their necks to pay for the salaries.
Okay, thanks, Eli. Okay, so Rory states and asks, I live in a split town, Alberta, and like an Alberta and Saskatchewan split town, so I'm going to guess Lloydminster or something like that. How are you going to handle that situation? Give the whole town city an option to vote or split it down the middle?
Well, I think the answer to that one's pretty straightforward. Alberta residents will be voting in a secession referendum, and people of Saskatchewan won't be able to vote.
Fair. Okay, Mike Nelson says, one of the greatest concerns I hear is Alberta will be completely landlocked. I understand there is a Crown law against that. I think Alberta could continue to develop and sell resources without issue and likely at a better market value. Your thoughts?
Well, again, this is one that we actually talked about a little bit earlier when we first started, but we have access to Tidewater now. That's not going to change, I don't believe, when we secede. We will have better deals as we go forward internationally and with our friends to the south in the United States, and we do have access to Tidewater there too. And maybe we could get even more access to Tidewater through the United States. And when we do secede, as I said before, we will actually be promoting the rest of Western Canada to do the same. And I think that when the people of Saskatchewan and the people of Manitoba see how well that we've done, I think they'll get on board too, and that'll give us even more access to Churchill, Manitoba. And the other thing is to when they do move forward with the Alberta to Alaska Railroad, we'll get access again through that whole corridor to deep water ports. At this point in time, the port in Vancouver is a shallow water port. It can't handle the big, huge tankers that we're looking for, and they can out of Alaska for sure. So if we can get that on the go and move with the A2A railroad, that would be a big boon to Alberta too.
Awesome. So yeah, everyone's kind of saying thank you now, and yeah, and Tracy agrees. Manning was a solid premier, but thinks that in her lifetime, Klein did Alberta proud, which I will 100% agree with. I loved Klein. So looks like most of the questions, or all of the questions we've answered so far. So I just wanted to take a minute. We don't want to take up too much more of your time. I wanted to thank all of you guys for coming out today, and we so appreciate any time that you want to give us. Also, on that note, I would like to ask for your support. If you think that we're the party that's going to take you to secession, which I truly believe we are, then please donate, volunteer. We need CAs. Obviously, we need money. There is actually not one paid board member in this party. We are all volunteers, and we all work really, really hard to really trying to get the wheels moving on this and to make sure that we're ready for 2023. So, yeah, and the next I think we have 2 days left in to the end of the year. So if you want to get that tax receipt in, make sure you get your end of the year donations done by this week, in the next couple days. We also have, actually, I wish I'd brought one up with me. We actually did up these great posters. They say, we will not, what did they say? This household will not report its neighbors. And it's just something you can put up in your window. I put mine up, so anything more than a $25 donation, you will get a free poster that you can put up in your window and, let your neighbors know that they're safe from you reporting them. Basically, gives your neighbors a little bit more comfort of feeling like they can do what they want to do and make their own choices. So, anyway, on that note, I think I'll leave it. Again, go to our website, abindependence.com. You can contact us through there, or you can contact me directly at comms@ab-independence.com. And yeah, everything's like as far as donating, volunteering, everything to sign up is on the website. Dave, Eli, am I missing anything? Or Monica? Am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so, not on my end.
Okay, great.
We just have a quick question here from
sure.
From Henry. He's just asking when our next live stream is.
So we're gonna try and do these monthly. So probably at the end of January, we will do another one. Oh, and actually, my lovely assistant brought me a copy of the posters that we have. So if you do want one of these posters, this is what they look like. They're actually pretty big, and people can see them very well. So you can put this up in your window and let people know that they are safe from your household reporting them. So again, if you donate more than $25 or more, you'll get a free copy of this poster. And sorry, what was the other question, Monica? I got distracted.
Well, that was it. That's all we have for now. But one thing I would like to add about the landlocked issue is that it's better to be a landlocked country than a landlocked province, and Confederation has shown us that time and time and time again.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Well, again, everybody, thank you again so much for your time. I will get out a notification as quick as I can on our next town hall. We will try and do one probably the third or fourth week of January. Um, and if anybody is interested, actually, that's one thing I would love to ask is if anyone is interested in doing, a small 5 or 10 minute um, presentation on something, like whether it's gun laws or like something that you're an expert at, I would love to have you. We are also trying to maybe possibly get a podcast started. So, if you would like to come and chat with us, whether we set it up through like this over the computer or eventually get together, that would be great too. So, like I said, if you have any skill sets or things you would love to talk about in regards to separation, again, reach out. I would love to hear from you. And I will say good night now because I'm just rambling now. So appreciate your time. Good night. And hopefully we will see you all soon. Okay. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.